you want to know my opinion on what I think, just keep on watching. Hey guys, what's good? It's your girl Nisi here, and I'm back with another video, and a big shout out to my subscribers. And if you're new here, come and subscribe to your girl. I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers by the end of this month. The clock is ticking, so yeah, please do subscribe if you're new. And thank you so much for everyone liking, subscribing, and commenting on my YouTube shorts. Like, my shorts back to back have been doing really good numbers. I'll just put a quick image here. But yeah, if you've not checked out any of my shorts, do check it out. I try and do little comedy skits and, you know, things that are just not so serious, because on my long form videos, the topics I talk about are more like, you know, real life and serious topics. But yeah, guys, we're jumping into some politics today. As you already know by the title and the thumbnail, your favorite president, Donald Trump, is at it once again. Listen, people are so scared of this man. His second term, he did not come to play. I've done numerous videos on this man, which I never thought in a million years I would. So I've done one on the tariffs. Check it out if you've not seen it. I'll link it at the end of this video. And I did a video when he was checking Zelensky, when he went over to the Americas. And then even the whole, when he was debating with Kamala, like, I did a video on that. So yeah, do check out. I've got a playlist just for like politics stuff, so if you're into that kind of stuff, do check it out. But yeah, May 5th, he's coming for y'all. Shout out to my American subscribers. You guys watch my videos the most. Like, shout out to y'all, my viewership. But yeah, this is sad. Like, so basically, a quick backstory if you don't know what's going on. So Biden, during the whole 2020 and the whole panoramic, I can't say the real word on here, but during that time, the world was in a mad state. So Biden put like a stop to student loans. So obviously people were praising, people were living their best life. 5 years later, Trump's like, we're going to revoke what Biden put into place and y'all need to pay back your student loans. And people are losing their minds. Obviously, a lot of people are refusing to pay it. And it's like, if you refuse to pay it, we're just going to garnish your wages. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's no stress on our end. We'll fix it for you. And guys, it's not just about the repayments, it's the interest. Like, there's a lot of interest, especially when you thought, oh, you know what I mean? Let's just say you was a student during 2020. You've obviously finished now in uni, unless you're becoming like a doctor or a lawyer. Can you imagine in your psyche, you're like, I don't have to pay this student loan debt. Out of nowhere now, I need to start making repayments, and it's going to start on the 5th of May. Like, it's just a lot to, like, listen, I studied in university for 1 year. I've got student debt, you know what I mean, a student loan debt. So trust me, I know. But obviously here in the UK, our government didn't say, oh, you don't have to, you know what I mean, you don't have to repay back. So the fact that people have had in their psyche that I don't have to pay the student loan debt, and now they do, it's not good. With the cost of living and then just the new climate that we're living in, this is a lot. You know what I mean? A lot of people are stressing out. A lot of people are like, I'm not bothered. You say that, but when they start garnishing your wages or start dipping into your like Section 8 and things like that, you know, your benefits, you're gonna feel it. You know what I mean? A lot of people that graduate, they don't end up getting the job that they studied for, which is really sad. Like, even myself and even my peers and my friends, we were doing fashion design, and I couldn't tell you one person from that class of 35 people, students that work in the fashion industry or are even like big in the fashion industry. So in a way, college, university is kind of a scam. I feel like it only works if you're becoming a doctor, a lawyer, but anything else, it's pretty much a scam. Same with the American dream. But yeah, I'm gonna play a clip from a guy breaking it all down, and I will be back with my commentary.
The student loan development under Trump's second term is dangerous, calculated, and cruel. Starting May 5th, 5 million students with defaulted student loans will be sent to collections. That means wage garnishments, tax refunds seized, social security benefits taken, and no access to repayment help because the Department of Education just fired half of its federal student aid workers. Just think about that for a minute. While folks are still recovering from the pandemic economy, the Trump administration is reviving debt collection on the poorest borrowers, gutting the department designed to help people repay loans, and moving the entire student loan program to the Small Business Administration, an agency that's never run anything this massive. Let me explain why this is a problem. Because this isn't just bad policy, it's intentional sabotage of America's student loan system. To be honest, this is going to affect Black borrowers the most because we're more likely to carry more student debt, and we're also more likely to default on student loans due to generational wealth gaps. They're punishing the working class while billionaires and big corporations are getting tax breaks and dodging accountability. Cutting staff means no help for folks applying for forgiveness or trying to get put on repayment plans. And then the Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon, yes, from WWE, has a nerve to call these borrowers irresponsible. That's disgusting. This is about politics and control, not public service. Now let's be clear, this ain't just about collecting money. This is Trump's dismantling of one of the last federal programs that actually help people. And by shifting the loan system to a whole nother agency, he's trying to dodge oversight, erase protections, and make it easier for private interests to profit off of student loan debt. It's about debt as control, about keeping people from climbing the economic ladder, especially people of. So to me, this isn't reform. This is an all-out war on working class people, designed as fiscal responsibility. And the weird thing is it's coming at an exact moment where people need the most help. To my people, don't get blindsided. They really want you discouraged. They want you in debt and they want you broken. But always remember, an informed people is a free people. Let's get loud, let's get organized, and let's never stop fighting for the system that works for us, not just billionaires and banks.
Ooh, guys, yes. He got deep. And again, with Trump doing the whole thing with the DUIs, trying to bring back the whole segregation, and now this, literally, I feel like every month he's just been doing something. So it's like you said, this is obviously going to affect Black people more than anything. I just feel like he's been poking us like the bear. He wants to trigger us, but don't fall for the bait. Like he said, a lot of low income, the poorer Black people, they're gonna struggle to make these repayments. And a lot of what's sad, a lot of like these Black students are the first to go to uni or college in their family. So obviously you make the family proud, but then it's sad that you don't get the job that you got your degree for, and now you have to pay back all this money. Like with me, obviously, getting a student loan, I knew eventually one day I will have to pay it back, like duh. But the fact that Biden put in place this thing like, no, you don't have to pay back your student loans, and now it's like, ooh, like yeah, I get what Trump's doing. He wants to help, America because he's in a lot of debt. But I don't think this is the way. It will help slightly, but at the same time, it's gonna target like the poorer people who just want a good education. And I get people are always screaming like, "Oh, education should be free." But let's be realistic. Let's use public schools. The knowledge you get and the education is very like just your basic. Private schools, you know what I mean. That's why a lot of people from private schools end up going to really good colleges, really good universities, etc. So as much as I get the saying, oh yeah, education should be free, like come on, let's be realistic. And even like third world countries, they pay for their education from the jump. So the fact that, let's say in the UK, we get free education up to college or even sixth form, and then after that, if you want to go uni and do A levels, and you pay for that. So even with that alone, we're very lucky and privileged because in again third world countries, Africa, the Caribbeans, they have to pay for their education from young. Obviously, with the UK, if you want to go to a private nursery, if you want to go to a private school, primary school, obviously you're paying from the jump. But yeah, stop all this. Education is never gonna be free. That good education, like come on, let's be realistic now. But obviously Biden tried to do his thing by, what I mean, clearing people's student loan, and Trump's like, nah, we need to reverse that, and I'm gonna need your money like he's come to collect. But yeah, let's get into some people's reactions.
I'm not paying back my
Mm.
student loans.
Yeah,
I do not care. Oh, but what about your credit score? What am I going to do with a good credit score? Buy a
the
house
credit
on
score.
starvation wages? Buy a car I can't afford to insure? I'm not paying them back. I don't give a
What does
shit about my credit
starvation
score.
wages?
Oh, they're going to garnish your wages. Most of us are underemployed. If they start taking additional money out of my paychecks on starvation wages, buy a car I can't afford to insure, I'm not paying them back. I don't give a shit about my credit score. Oh, they're going to garnish your wages. Most of us are underemployed. If they start taking additional money out of my paycheck, I just won't work. My life will not get worse. I'm not going to have the money anyway, so you can't garnish what isn't there. I grew up in a far right, conservative, hardcore Republican family. And since like kindergarten, I have been conditioned to believe that if I did not go to college, I would not be successful. I was told that if I locked in, got great grades in high school, got into college, focused, and got my degree, that I would have a life similar to the life my parents had, where my dad worked one job for like 35 years, was able to buy a house and go on vacation and support his family. That doesn't exist anymore. There's no jobs out there with pension plans. There's no jobs out there that let people my age just like buy a house. So what was all that work for? Generations of Americans have been told that if they went to college and they did the right thing, took out these loans, that it would be worth it. And most of us are finding out it's not even remotely close to worth it. You're telling me these millionaires and billionaires were able to get these PPE loans forgiven that they took out during the pandemic for millions of dollars? But I have 30 grand in college debt left and I'm refusing to pay it back, and now I'm the problem?
Ooh, he spoke on so much. I just loved his opening statement. Like, I'm not paying them back. Like, AKA, I don't give a. Listen, I don't blame him. Again, a lot of people are like this, and yeah, it's all right saying that, but then when they start garnishing your wages or your credit score, I used to like my credit score is bad right now. I used to care about it, but right now I don't. So basically, I've got a CCJ on my credit score, no fault of my own. I try to pay it, like they give you a chance to make the repayments before they put the CCJ on. It was about a parking, like it was a parking fine, and I did pay for it, but they couldn't see it on their side. So then they were like, "You need to pay 200." I'm like, "I'm not paying 200 or something because I've already paid the actual, parking ticket." When it comes to payments and things, I don't play. Like I try and pay my rent on time most times. Like I'm not perfect, but when it comes to owing people money and paying for the right things, like I pay my phone bill on time, my Wi-Fi. I don't play those games. I know a lot of people pay later or they want to go on holiday and I mean Kalana and stuff. But no, I don't play when it comes to payments. So, like he said, what's the point of a good credit score? I can never buy a house. I can't get a car on starvation wages. Let that sink in. Like this is what I mean. Like the wages that people are getting paid are not even cutting it. So even to make repayments, how do you expect me to pay my rent or the utility bills and pay this student loan? Like with what money? You know what I mean? We don't even make enough. And then with inflation, like Trump, what about the eggs? People keep asking, what about the eggs? I get it, you're making cuts and you know what I mean? You're trying to ravish money from this part, but what about the price of eggs? The whole tariff. Hmm. Well, I like that he spoke on, how he grew up, what he said. He's always been told, go to college, get the education, and you're guaranteed you're going to get a job at the end of it. You know, that American dream, you have the nice house, the white picket fence, and it's just like not in today's climate. Once upon a time, that was it. And I really loved what he said at the end when he talks about the millionaires and their PP loans, how it was just forgiven. Now, obviously, this is affecting the working people and the middle class. And I do feel like people that are more well off, they're going to be fine. And it's just like they should be helping with, building back America. You know what I mean? Obviously, Trump, these millionaires are rubbing shoulders. They're going to the White House, they're rubbing shoulders with him. So for them to have their PP loans forgiven, I'm not surprised. And even the whole PP loan and people that did fraud with that, it was so stupid. And obviously their excuse was like, well, the government steals from us all the time. I'm like, yeah, well, trust me, you can't rob the government and don't think they're coming back to collect. Like, look at this. Biden put something in place and Trump's done a whole 365 and he's like, I'm coming back to collect. Like,
Trump said, you got to be quicker than that.
isn't it?
You got to be quicker than that. Let me tell y'all something. Trump said they coming at the student loans. Okay. So if you Oh, student loans, baby, they coming to get it involuntarily, baby. They gonna take it out your taxes. They gonna take it out. They gonna start garnishing checks, all that stuff. He said Biden didn't have y'all paying student loan payments since 2020, and he need all that. He need all that because he feels like that'll help with the debt in the world. The debt in America. He want all that. He said he got to have that. Yeah, they are literally about to start taking people checks. And I find that so crazy because with the cost of everything going up, with groceries being so high, people renting mortgages at an all-time high, car notes at an all-time high, car insurance at an all-time high, you are now about to start garnishing people wages as if they can afford. If they could have afforded their student loans, they would have never, they would be paid if they could afford them. That's the thing. That's the thing. People come here to live the American dream when the American dream is a scam. They give you debt before they teach you financial freedom. You ever thought about that? You get approved for student loans, you get approved for a house, you get approved for a car, you get approved for all these things, right? But then when you try to go get a line of credit for your business or something like that, it's hard. It's very hard. They don't teach us financial literacy, but they give us all these loans and everything to put us in debt. Let that sink in.
Listen, everything she said was on point. Like, first of all, like she said, Trump was like, Biden did what? It's like that meme. Trump was like, hold my beer. Like, I need to circle her back and fix this. Like, what? But listen, she made some really good points. Like, first of all, like she said, as much as people like education should be free, again, you get that basic education. Now, if you go private, they do teach you about finance, but like she said, it's weird how, the regular or the average working or the lower class, the working class can get, approved for a car note, um, a mortgage. Well, not really a mortgage, not over here, but maybe in America. But basically, all those things that she touched on. And like she said, if we could pay our student loan, do you not think we would pay for it? Like, I don't think any human being likes owing anyone any money. Like, it's just not a way to live. You always got that person ringing you up, chasing you down. You know what I mean? But like she said, obviously this is going to affect the working class, the more poorer people. And like she said, like how are we supposed to, you garnishing our wages, and they're struggling to pay their mortgages, they're struggling to pay their car notes, their car insurance, just groceries. You know what I mean? I did a video that people might start using Kalana for, like, like food, you know what I mean, or even your groceries. And it's like, please do not go down there. I'll put a picture here, but please do not go down the route. But the part of the matter I'm trying to say is the American people are struggling as it is, and now you're gonna garnish wages. Like, I get it that they have to pay it back, but for me, it's the interest. Like, when I've been watching people's TikTok and they're talking about how much they owe, some people, it's crazy numbers. Like, it's literally a house. You could just buy a house with that price. Or it's the interest that they're slapping on top every time. Crazy.
There's no way that you're upset that you have to
You
pay a
can't
loan
really.
back that you signed up for. Nobody held your hand and forced you to sign on the dotted line after you agreed to the terms and conditions. You're mad because you believed the liars from the last administration that we're going to forgive you of those loans. That's why you're mad. They promise, we're going to get rid of them. We're going to forget. Bitch, you're the one who signed up for them. You went to the bank or the institution or whatever and said, I need this loan. I'm going to sign my life away for it. You probably didn't read the fine print. And you've had, like, it was frozen in 2020. You've had 5 fucking years to think about this. Don't give me the, we only have 2 weeks to get our life together. You've had 5 fucking years. If you make poor decisions like that, you might as well just sign up for a little OF and start selling the photos, bitch. Because that's real life. Be an adult. Pull your little panties up and get to work.
Listen, we all know who team she's on. Nah, she made some valid points. I get where she's coming from. Like, no one forced you to go to college. I get that. And then, like she said, like the lie or the make believe that Biden tried to spin is like, yeah, your loans will be forgiven. I agree with her. Like, you have had time, so it's been 5 years, so none of this. Oh, we've got 2 weeks. We need to get our stuff together. Like, you should have been putting money aside. However, to play the devil's advocate and to be fair, the way the world is right now, obviously we've got this tariff, so a lot of things have gone up. I know that's recent, but just inflation. Like after 2020 came inflation. You know what I mean? Like every year, and then came the war, and then America. Like, well, this was Biden. He was giving loads of money to Ukraine. So you know what I mean? Let's not act like since 2020 things have not been happening back to back. But I do agree that they should have put something aside. But again, Americans struggle to just have like an emergency fund. You know what I mean? Even myself, I've got a small one, but you know what I mean? Since 2020, when I look back, it's like all of us should have saved, not just me, but everyone. Like, we're in lockdown, there was nothing to do. But again, the prices of things did go up. So even if you did have savings, you would have spent it because of the prices of things. But yeah, she made me laugh. She came in hot and ready, like, listen, no one forced you to do it. When you lend money, which is true, if you go to a bank and lend money, you have to pay them back, doesn't matter what. That bank could close, it'll go on to someone else, and you do have to make the repayments. So I do agree with her in that part.
So Trump is about to start making you pay back your student loans, which is crazy because he literally just got rid of the tool that was there to help you pay them back in the first place. It's nuts, but it's not surprising. There are people that owe billions of dollars to the government, but he's shaking you down instead. There are Republican Congress people who owed millions of dollars to the government in the form of PPP loans, but yet he's shaking you down instead. He crashed your stock market. He's cost many of you your job. And after all of that, he has the audacity to stand at the street corner, shaking you down like a troll, demanding your money after he screwed everything up. So he screwed the economy, he's making your life worse. Now he's shaking you down for money. While his rich friends, they sip on their pina coladas in a yacht somewhere in Montenegro, taking a victory lap off the tax cuts that you're paying for. It's the heist of the century. Also what I call the great American scam.
You guys voted for him.
Correct.
But here we are. Donald Trump, as of May 5th, with the Department of Education, is going to start involuntarily taking their debt from people that people owe them for student loans. If you have a student loan and you haven't paid since 2020 because you've been protected, or your account's been defaulted because you haven't made a payment in the last year or so, 300 something days, they're going to start coming after your wages. They're going to garnish your wages. Yeah, when you think you're going to get paid every 2 weeks, expect almost either nothing or less than half of your paycheck, just saying, depending how much you owe. Obviously, I wouldn't know, but you should. They're gonna go after your tax refunds. I don't know about anyone else, but I love me a good tax refund. So is anyone else not upset they're taking your tax refund? And Social Security benefits. They're gonna start taking those away. They're involuntarily. Do you know what that means? They don't give a damn what you think, is what that means. That means, oh, you're barely surviving on your paycheck. Oh, you're barely surviving on your Social Security benefits. Oh, you've been waiting for that tax refund for the last couple weeks. You're not getting any of it, apparently. You gotta pay your loans. But this is what the president wants, so.
Yeah, guys, sorry about that last clip before the battery on my mic went, so I hope you can hear me nice and clearly. But listen, she's another one. She came in hot and ready, like, you voted for this. And I know, especially with the tariffs, people with small businesses who did vote for Trump, they regret it. And it's just like, I get it, you didn't know he was going to do this. And, you know, they're like, oh, I thought he was for the American people. He's for the American people, just not the working class. So, you know what I mean? The working class got it twisted. I get it, you know, legal immigrants and things like that. You wanted him to fix that. Like, I get it. Don't think he sent any more money, you know what I mean, to Ukraine. He's more on Russia's side. He gives me that kind of vibe. So at least he patterned that, because I know that was a big like trigger for Americans with the whole war, because Biden was just funding Ukraine like there was no tomorrow. But yeah, to go off what she said, like, this is crazy. Like she said, Americans, you love a good tax refund. So we do over here in the UK. But yeah, we're gonna garnish your wages. Like she said, if you get paid every 2 weeks. No, boo-boo. Your tax refund, everyone looks forward to that. That's gone. Like, I can see, obviously it depends how much you get back, but I can see them taking a big chunk out of that. And you know what I mean? Just afford, like, the whole, like, cost of living, just being able to afford to live right now, like, no. And this is just the beginning. I feel like Trump's still got more to give. So, yeah, people just need to prepare themselves. The little money they've got stuck up and stuff, because again, even with this tariff, it's affecting people that need medication and things like that. But yeah, like, it's just crazy.
You fuckers that keep saying, why should my tax dollars pay for other people's student loans? One, go fuck yourself. If your tax dollars did pay for student loans, it's because you're investing in society as a whole. A rising tide lifts all boats. The smarter that people are, the better off all of us are. But second, your tax dollars aren't paying for student loans. Our country makes billions of dollars from the interest of these student loans. Our country profits from student loans. So your tax dollars aren't paying for people's student loan interest forgiveness. If anything, sorry, but the country is not making a profit off the backs of people that needed to take out student loans to better themselves in life. I'm so sick of Republican viewpoint of, I don't want my tax dollars to pay for blah, blah, blah. What do you want tax dollars to pay for? You live in a society that offers you services. The government is not a business, it's a service. You literally take advantage of things all day that tax dollars pay for. All day. And if you didn't have these services that you pay taxes to pay for, then it would be private companies offering all of these services and you'd be paying a fuck ton more money.
Listen, she didn't come to play. She was another hot and ready. How could she be like, go and F yourself? Like, I get what she's saying. Yeah, I'm with her on this one. Like, you should be happy that, you know what I mean, people want to go to college and uni because, you know, we need better doctors. You know, they're like the next generation. Like, you know what I mean? The doctors we have now, one day they're going to want to retire and, you know what I mean? So we need the next people to come up next. So as much as it might pay for, like, you know, take out the tax dollar, it's a good investment. Like she said, it's not something stupid. I'm trying to think, what do I hate over here in the UK that we pay tax for? Okay, let's use road tax. I'm a driver. I hate that I have to pay road tax every month. The road that I'm driving on, there's loads of potholes. Like, there's a running joke in the UK. If you was doing a robbery or you was trying to, you know, unalive someone, you couldn't even do it because there's so many potholes. You never get to your destination. You know what I mean? The roads over here are crazy, especially in Manchester. I know different cities are different, but yeah, it's really bad over here. So that's one thing I hate paying taxes for. You know what I mean? Because the roads are bad. But I feel like paying, you know what I mean, helping people with their student loan, I think it's a good investment. There's other stupid things that people paying for. So I get what she's saying. And then let's just say, I agree with the people that complain about, you know, going to college is a stupid idea. It's better than people that just sit at home on Section 8, you know what I mean, or just sit and just wait to get the benefits. Like, at least people that are going to college, you know what I mean, they're trying to better their life, trying to better the world, you know what I mean? They're the next generation, so I don't get why people are looking down and complaining. Like, it's a good thing, it's a really good investment. You know what I mean? There's bad investments and a good one, but I do believe going to college, even though it's a scam, the only thing I think it's worth it for is becoming a lawyer and becoming, like, you know, like a judge, something like that, and a doctor, surgeon, you know what I mean? But other than that, the rest of the stuff that's on there, yeah, it's giving scam.
And I just want y'all to know that forcing Americans to begin repaying back their student loans while also offering very little to no assistance in paying back those loans in the form of income-based, you know, all the others they had, is going to be a shit show. Shit. This gonna be a mess. Not only because they're in the process of gutting the Department of Education, not only because they have transferred this $1 trillion debt over to the SBA, who has not had to deal with this prior to at all, but also because the American people quite literally cannot afford it. Eggs cost 86 and 72 cents per egg right now. People are going to have to move, sell their cars, all other kind of abnormal shit, or don't do it at all and risk their wages being garnished, which will also lead to not being able to pay other bills. This gonna be a hot mess. This is, I don't think eggs literally cost $98.72 per yolk. Some people's monthly student loan bill is in the $400, $500, $600 a month without any assistance. This gonna be a hot ass mess. My goodness.
It's going to be a ish show. Show-ish. I agree with her. It's going to be a hot, stinking mess. Oh, she touched on some really good stuff, especially when she said people are going to have to sell their car. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how it works with mortgages, maybe remortgage or even have to give that back. Like, this is definitely a slap in the face for people that are struggling as it is. You know, when you think you're just like floating and, you know what I mean, you can keep up with your bills and stuff, and then boom, out of nowhere, this has come. Starting May 5th, you got to start paying back your student loans. And like for me, again, it's the interest. Like people are like, okay, I can pay back what I owe, but then the way they're slapping on this interest is crazy. But like she said, all the stuff people are gonna have to give up, you know, give up a car, and then they probably need that car to get to work. So then they're going back to public transport, and it's just going to be a hot mess. But yeah, guys, this is it for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm praying for y'all, my American people. Like, just keep your head up, and yeah, just try and save. Every little helps, even if it's the small stuff. But yeah, guys, stay safe, and please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. I'm trying to get to 500. But yeah, guys, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.